This is an EWB production. Hi, I'm Emmy Birch.
And I am Sandy Thornton, and this is the Take Us With You podcast.
Hey, Sandy, what's the Take Us With You podcast all about?
So glad you asked. In a sea of badness coming out of every news station, let's provide some light, laughter, and levity to this strange time we are living in.
I'm so glad that we're going to be going with you wherever it is you're going. Thanks for taking us with you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Take Us With You podcast. This is Emmy.
And this is Sandy on a brand new microphone, so let's hope it works.
It sounds great. I'm proud of us.
I'm super excited. I feel like my game is next level now. So
you have been bringing the game. You know what else we're bringing today? We are bringing the joy.
Yeah, we are. Yes, I've been looking forward to this day all week.
Yes. Same girl, same. We're bringing the joy. And then I have a little thought, okay? A lot of people by Wednesday, because we're recording this on a Wednesday, are starting to lose energy. At least, you know, you're midweek. In German, that's Mittwoch, which means literally midweek, which sounds like you're about to vomit, Mittwoch. I mean, come on.
I feel that way sometimes on Wednesdays, except the days that we record.
Preach, go preach. So I think what's so interesting is Brendan Burchard has this story where a power plant doesn't just have power. It has to generate the power. It has to take the resources it's been given and create power. So I create power when I am happy and when I feel empowered, and being with you and spending time just talking as friends and sharing our little stories,
our shenanigans to the world.
It brings me joy, and I hope that you, as the listener, are sitting in your car or walking the street or whatever it is you're doing. I hope you're smiling, because you are beautiful, my friend, and you should be smiling.
Yes, and we are going to talk a lot about that and how to harness kind of that power for yourself on this day. I've been really I'm psyched. I'm psyched to talk about this. So let's do it.
Let's start with the dad joke.
Oh,
start with the dad joke.
Let's start with the dad joke and then a check-in.
Yeah. So I would love to combine mine because I think they go together. I just paced a marathon this past weekend. So hobby on the side, in addition to podcasting with the one and only Sandy, I run marathons as a pacer. So I also run them myself, but pacing a marathon's different. And this race in particular, I had about a dozen people ask me what a pacer was. Like, you're carrying this ginormous stick.
Yes, that's what I was just going to ask. I don't know what that is. Talk about it.
Cool. I'd love to tell you. So you have a stick. It's like a big fat dowel rod. And at the top, it has a number. And it tells you, like, anyone following this stick is going to finish the race at that time. So I was the 4-hour pacer. That means I tell people I'm going to stay as close to a 9:09-minute average for every mile as physically possible. I have multiple watches on. I'm double checking all the things. I have extra food in my backpack. I have waters. I'm carrying all sorts of stuff in case anyone starts to die around mile, whatever. Yeah. So you carry this stick the whole time. And it was so much. You start with these people who are pumped to either reach a goal that they've been working on, or stretch a goal, or retry a goal. It's just amazing the friends you make. And my favorite story was this guy, Gary. And Gary he comes up after like the first couple miles and he's like, so I gotta be honest, I started with the 4:15 group, but they were quiet. And I heard you laughing and making hoo-ha, so I kind of caught up, and it was worth it. I'm like,
so you can change your groups?
I mean, if you want to run really fast and catch it. In the first mile, we're pretty close together. So I guess he just kind of sped away from the 4:15ers and joined the 4-hour group. And he was just super chatty. It was like his 45th marathon. He's in the 64 to 69 age group. Super sweet. And he's like, all right, group, I'm going to tell you, if you're running this pace because you're a stretch goal, that's a bad idea. Be careful. But if you're running this pace to have her slow you down, she's the best I've ever had. I mean, I was clocking off these 9:09s like I've never clocked before because I had Gary cheering me on.
Oh, Gary I love it.
Ran a PR, a personal record, a personal best, a PB. He was the cutest thing at the finish line. He ran a 3:56.
And so that was his personal record?
Yes.
That's huge. I don't even run, and I know that.
It was really fun. And so, of course, like the race photos came out yesterday, and I was trying to kind of eat away some time. You want to cross the finish line at 3:59:30. That's like perfect pacing. And I was a little bit fast, so I needed to eat up about 10 seconds. So in the middle of the finish shoot, I did a curtsy, and then over the finish line, my girlfriend and I did a heel click, came in at 3:59:30.
Why don't you want to come in earlier than that pace?
There's
Like that.
a magic window. So if
Okay.
I were to finish at 4:00:00, that means I brought in my runners at a 9:09 perfect pace, given that most miles are a little bit uneven. We're getting into the grittiness of marathoning. This is a life lesson, though. And you want them to come in a little bit under that, because stretching 30 seconds, getting in at 59:30 is like, oh, wow, I got in under 4 hours. I did a sub 4 hour marathon. But if you stretch it much more than that 30 seconds, it clicks off time in their overall average per mile. And if 9:09 is already a stretch for someone, you don't
Oh,
want to
then there's
suddenly
no
be
point.
doing 9:05s or 9 flats or sub nines on your
Okay.
miles.
Got
But
it.
here's the life lesson. A marathon is like life. You have to invest daily. The kids who show up at the start line not having invested, they're like, yeah, I'm just going to run a marathon.
Good luck. Good
I'll
luck.
see you at
Don't
mile
die.
12 when you're like death in the back and when you finish
Barfing
at 5 or
on the
6
side.
hours. Right.
Oh,
And then the
wow.
actual process of running it, you go through highs and lows. There was this point at mile 13, 14 where we were running into a 30-mile headwind and we were on an island, so we weren't really protected. And it was 3 miles of this 30-mile headwind. The wind was so loud, I couldn't talk to my group. I was getting blown around like a stick. That stupid pacer pole hit me in the face so many times. I have a couple bruises.
Oh, Emmy, I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh. That's bad.
No,
That's
it was
That's not
humorous. I was like yelling at the pole. I'm like, "Stop hitting me!" And one of the guys in the group goes, "You know you're controlling the stick, right?"
Yeah, but the fact that like, okay, you can run this massive distance and also use your mouth. If I was ever in a marathon, you best believe I'd be chucking along like a damn water buffalo. There would be no speaking from me.
But girl, that's my job. I'm there to entertain them. Like I'm there to be like, I give them the last 13 miles. I give them a random fact every mile for the last 13. I call it Dr. Birch's Mile 13 Countdown, and I give them the most random musical facts I can find in my brain.
Oh my gosh.
And then whenever usually whenever they're all in their dark spot, which is like somewhere in the 18 to 22 range, I give them
You mean in 1 kilometer? That would be mine.
I give them a 1 mile mini lecture on a topic of their choice. So I give them a bunch of options and I give them a whole entire mile of mini lecturing. It was so much fun.
I'm so proud of you. I think
you are so sweet.
I think that it's an amazing thing because, we've talked about this before. This is not something that many people do. And I think part of the reason is because it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of training to get to that point where you can run those miles and get to the end, and not even talking about pace or sub anything, just making it.
Just doing it.
Just doing it is huge. And for so many people, like that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
But
just
you're doing it. Yeah, just to do it. But you're doing it and you're doing it at a very precise rate. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
That's my love on Emmy moment. Like, I think it's incredible. I think it's incredible what you do. I think it's special.
You are so sweet. I'm thankful that I have found something outside of music that I can invest my love of people into. Yes. And it gives me a place to use my musical skills in other ways. Singing them random songs. Don't Stop Believing up the worst bridge ever with a 30-mile-an-hour crosswind.
Oh, girl, I have a Don't Stop Believing story. So
yes,
I was teaching high school. Every year they would do this thing called the academic pep rally, which it was right before they would do, I think, their state testing, right? And so all of the student body would pack into the gym and they'd have the drum line there and the dance team. And like, it was a big freaking deal. Well, fun fact, at the school I taught at, a lot of the teachers were actually also not a lot. There's a handful of teachers that were also musicians. And so my assistant principal was a drummer. One of the science teachers was just a really amazing guitarist. And, they'd pull in people and they'd pull in kids that were also really good at playing instruments, and they would make a rock band for this
thing. For the academic pep rally.
Yes. And one year, and I think I was like 10 months pregnant when they asked me, they're like, hey, so Sandy, you sing things. Can you come?
Wait. Don't you have the kid at 9 months?
One would think, but I was like, we were on burrow time.
Okay.
And yeah. They're like, hey, can you come in? We know like you're really found pregnant right now and you don't even like to stand on your feet or move, but can you come in and sing Don't Stop Believing to our kids? But can we change
karaoke jam ever?
Oh wait, and they're like, but we changed the words to Don't Stop Achieving. And we wrote all new lyrics. And I'm like, That's not
Don't
to do
stop
that.
achieving.
Now, if you know me at all, and some of you don't, so I'm going to enlighten you. I don't sing pop. I don't sing rock. That is not how my voice works. My voice is very specific, and it only does a couple things well. That's not the thing. And I'll never forget. I got through it, and I'm like, okay, I might give birth right here. And I exit the stage, and throughout the day, like, moving forward, and then in the days to come, kids would sing it at me in the hallway.
Yeah, please tell me, that was this pre or post social media? Like, is there a video of this?
Oh no, it was in the smack dab start. So I left public school teaching in 2014. This would have been in 2014 because that's when I had my daughter Elena.
Oh my gosh,
So bad, guys. So
don't stop.
Don't ever ask me to sing "Don't Stop Believing" or "Achieving" because it's not going to come off well.
FYI, next time you're in Savannah, we're karaokeing, and that song, we are doing that. Don't worry, listeners. I will put this on some type of social. Well, let's be honest. Sandy will put this on some type of social because I don't social well.
Yeah, and I'll make sure I sing the "Don't Stop Achieving" words.
Okay.
So that you can meet your best selves during your state academic testing too.
I don't know if we need a dad joke because this has been quite humorous all over the place. But I do have a pretty good one. It's related to running.
Do tell.
What do sprinters eat before a race? Look, keeping in mind, like, just like your voice does two things, like my body does one thing. Endurance running. There is not a sprinting muscle in my body. I'm like, you want me to do what? How fast?
You want me to go super fast now?
No. I am not a sprinter, but I can run all day.
Okay.
So what do sprinters eat before a race?
I don't know, but I love that you tied it into running because we just had that conversation. So no, I don't know. What?
Nothing. They fast.
Good. That was a good one. Yes, girl.
I don't. I eat all the food.
It's awesome. I think it's impressive. Like, I'm impressed with people that run fast, but I'm also impressed with people that run it all. So
first breakfast, second breakfast, third breakfast, lunch.
I mean, are you also a hobbit?
No, they're like full-on meals. And there is no hungry like the day after a marathon hungry. Like, there is
all the things.
The day of the marathon, you're like, okay, cool, I did this. My body's okay. I'm fine. I'm whatever. The day after, girl, I think I ate everything in the pantry.
Well, okay, so I'm not a runner. I'm a walker. I walk on my treadmill. I'm doing a 5K a day. That's my March Madness.
What? That is madness.
Yeah. But I do find, and like I said, not running, I will do little sprints here and there to kind of get that,
No, thank you. I don't do HIIT training. HIIT what? HIIT my arm.
I did HIIT this morning.
No, thanks.
Good for me. But I find that when I work my body that way, I don't actually need to eat I don't feel like I need to. I feel like if I were to eat, it would not end well for me. Like, a lot of food.
I packed a cooler for the weekend of our race because I'm very, very specific as to what I eat before the race. And then after the race, I just eat all the food.
Good for you. Do you still try to keep it at somewhat of a healthy level when you're eating all the food? Or is it just like no holds bars, you're going to eat whatever?
Well, right now, because I'm in a training cycle, because in addition to the, pacing, I'm actually training for my own, I'm trying to get a BQ, a Boston qualifying time. B1, yes. We're going to talk about it.
Say that. I want you to say that out loud. Do it one more time. Say it
okay,
again.
We're saying it out loud. I am attempting to get not one, but 2 BQs this year. You are so sweet for me.
Oh, you're amazing.
I'm so excited. So the first one's the middle of May, and the second one's in October. But the way Boston works, the May one would qualify me for 22, and the October one would qualify me for 23. So that would be really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right now, yes, I am very restrictive in how I had, 2 pieces of gluten-free bread with extra almond butter.
But you still have to feed your body and fuel your body so that you can run these distances. Yes.
It's all fuel. It's 100% fuel-based.
So
it's a lifestyle shift.
If there's no indulgent right now, no indulgence.
Right. No, but after May 16th, there shall be a period of indulgence. I think we're actually going to go to Napa.
Yes, please.
Celebrate.
And I want pictures, and I want to live vicariously through you.
I'll bring you back a bottle. And you can
one.
Come, or more.
One.
Just come to Savannah. We'll go play. And karaoke. Don't stop achieving.
Don't stop achieving. Don't stop.
Okay. I'm dying to be educated in the world of news stories since I've talked your ear off about running. And again, while she's pulling this up, if you are not a runner, that is okay. Not everybody has to do what everyone else has to do.
Come over to my side of life. I am a
non-runner. Yeah,
I try.
It's totally fine. You do you. We're not asking you to do anything else, but it is fun to experience life through these two different lenses of hit, run, hit, people who like hit, like what?
Well, I don't like it. I just felt like I needed to do something to work off my ass. Sorry.
No, like
we might edit that swear word out.
No, it's okay. It's just a swear word. No big deal.
All right. So I got an article, and I will tell you, it was a little bit of a struggle bus to try to find something that I thought was appropriate and somewhat entertaining and funny. I think I got it. This is from HuffPost, where I look to find most of my weird news, but it says COVID-19 inspires 1,200 new German words like Gesichtskondom or face condom. Can't wait. Okay. Annoyed at someone wearing a mask with their nose exposed, call them a Maskentrottel or a mask idiot. Emmy, I feel like this like all the time, where it's like I'll be somewhere and people will wear their mask, but their schnoz is hanging out. And I want to get a mask with beautiful embroidery over the front that says it goes over your nose.
Yeah, cover your nose. Yes.
Cover your nose. That's part of your respiratory system.
That's asking a lot. I mean, that's a big word you're expecting people to be aware of. They had to pay attention in 7th grade biology. 4th grade biology? 4th grade science?
Yeah, fourth
grade science. Your nose is part of your respiratory system.
Right. If they can't handle putting their mask over their nose, it makes me certainly wonder how well they did pay attention. All right. So,
5th grader.
The COVID-19 pandemic has inspired a linguistic shift across the globe, introducing many phrases to the English lexicon, from social distancing to super spreader event. We know that well.
Oh,
musicians. In German, however, the number of new words inspired by the pandemic exceeds 1,200, according to a list compiled by the Leibniz Institute for the German Language. This is a dramatic increase from the normal 200 or so words that annually enter the German language, according to the Institute. So I'm going to take a pause. And okay, so let's think about German words just for a second if you've never done it before. They are they're very guttural and very you use a lot of stuff going on. So like Emmy, the Spanish word for butterfly is mariposa. What is the Spanish word or what is the German word for butterfly?
It's huge. Like it's ginormous.
Like multiple syllables. So
yeah. There's a YouTube on it. It's like
yeah, it's like that. All right, so just FYI, I will mispronounce probably everything. Here we go. The lengthy list assembled via careful monitoring of new terms as they appear in articles is due to Germans' tendency to combine words together, like we just said.
They do. They combine a lot of words. Like if you say like tourist attraction, go look that one up in the German language. I'm not even going to say it because I love German and I have family in Germany and that's something that I practice every day. But I'm not going to say that word for fear that it is so long and so bad. But then like the easy ones are like the health related ones. Like Krankhaus is the hospital. Krank is sick. House is house. Krankhaus. Or Krankenfahren, like the ambulance. It's a sick car.
Oh my gosh.
Like
okay.
They just combine everything.
Yeah, like the thing and the purpose of the thing, right?
It's like, oh, just mash the word together and it makes sense. So I'm getting why they have 22 words, but I'm dying to know, other than like face condom, what are these words?
Here we go. The lengthy list assembled by careful monitoring of new terms as they appear in articles is due, I already said that. German tendency to combine words together, blah, blah, blah. For instance, oh God, Corona Mutation Gebiet. Which is a mashup of the words corona, mutation, and area, and refers to a place where coronavirus variants are quickly spreading. Now, heads up, like I did get a music degree and voice was my concentration, and I am very embarrassed right now that I probably butchered that word, but I'm going to go on because I have high
you need a little more spit in those words. If you could just spit a little more, a little less French, a little more spit.
Yes. Other intriguing combinations include the uniquely German Corona Fußgruß, which translates to Corona foot greeting and describes the alternative to handshake that many were forced to adopt during the early stages of the pandemic. We do a lot of like elbow.
And they just greet with foot. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're just like, let's just kick each other.
Fußball. Fußball. That's, you know, football.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, makes sense. Okay. Gesichtskondom or face condom is one of the several new words for masks, while Maskentrottel refers to a mask idiot or someone who fails to wear a mask properly.
Well, you know, that's one of my favorite parts of the German culture is they are very direct.
Yes.
So it makes sense that they have like mask face, mask idiot.
Yeah.
I can totally see my family saying that.
Oh yeah, they don't beat around the bush. They don't. Like, it's very like literal. Like, I have a great grandmother who came over from Germany, and when my great grandfather passed, she spent the entire like intervening years between his death and her passing saying, "I just want to die." Like, didn't beat around the bush. She was ready. God bless you, Oma. I know you're with Opa now.
Oma, Nopa.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Doop. Got that. Sorry, I lost my place. Okay, here we go. Abstandsbier directly translates to distance beer, the now common way of socially distancing. Makes sense. Christine Meurs, who worked on the Leibniz Institute list, told The Guardian, and I got this from
Huffington Post. Yeah.
That when viewed together, these words reflect the history of the pandemic. Things that do not have a name can cause people to feel fear and insecurity, she said. However, if we can talk about the things and name them, then we can communicate with each other, especially in terms of crisis. This is important, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
So like before you give us any more German words, you just dropped life knowledge. Things that we cannot identify cause fear. Just like doing something, imagining something new, deciding to make a change without knowing. It is, because you have to go through all the fears. I heard this great podcast talking about how, I think it was Dave Hollis, he said, when you're imagining change, take a second and write down every single fear, and then realize that those fears happen in 3 circles. The big one with a littler one inside and a tiny one inside of it. The biggest one is all the possible things that could happen, all the fears. The next size is like, those are more likely to happen. And the tiny little circle in the center, those are the actual fears that can come into reality.
Yeah, that makes sense, and it might happen type of thing.
But if you imagine out and lay out all the fears on a piece of paper and have a plan, if you posture yourself in a way to address them, in this case, Germans making up a bunch of amazing words.
So many words. Yes.
They can now address the fear of the unknown in a better way. Hey, I feel like we just got life bombs out of that incredible article.
Well, and it's absolutely true. Like, I just remember, so folks at home, for those that don't know, I got sick in 2017. I got breast cancer. It sucked. But I remember in the waiting time between getting my biopsy and mammogram and getting the results, and obviously it was curable because I'm here today. It was stage 2. But those 3 days were the worst. It's the unknown. It's when you can't name something. And at that point, I couldn't name anything. I couldn't even name myself. So yeah, that makes sense.
Let's make that our little thing for today. What is something that you, like, what are the things in your unknown? Like, you don't know what you don't know.
There are so many things I don't know.
Right? There's so much you don't know. And if you go into the world with, I don't know everything, doesn't that make it a little bit less intimidating?
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to know everything. And then what are some words that you've made up to deal with the things you don't know? In our house when I was growing up, if something disappeared or something went awry, we always said Mr. Yahootee did it.
I say gnomes. It's gnomes we can't find things.
Gnomes did it.
Mr. Yahootee.
And at some point, like, my sister got some like toy in a box or something, and he became Mr. Yahootee, and we would hide Mr. Yahootee around the house.
You had a mascot then.
We had a little teeny mascot.
I think that's fantastic.
But Mr. Yahootee, we named the fear of losing something, the fear of something going wrong.
Yeah, that's all right.
I wonder what the listeners have. Like, what's your word that you go to describe things? That's one of the words you've made up.
Are nerve-wracking. My words are usually not appropriate to say over the air. That's kind of where I'm at with that.
When I don't,
too.
I say human when I don't know if what I want to call folks. I just call them human.
Oh, I say friends, even though they probably are not my friends. But like friends is my go-to. I started using that when I was a teacher so that I could stop saying girls and boys.
Yes.
Just friends,
Yes, it's important. Folks, friends,
folks, people, amazing
people.
humans.
Yes, the humans. I also love when I'm trying to say something is huge, like a gajillion or gabillion. Like I
Yes.
love those
Make
type
up
of made up
numbers.
numbers.
Me too. I do that as well. I do that as well.
Zillion, billion.
Yeah. Quadrillion.
My there was this uh, I don't know who it was in my family. I think it was my papa, my dad's dad, used to write songs about like who drink my drink at Zany Brainy, and it would just like he would make up songs about things that we would ask questions about as his way to ease over the like I drank all of your drink. You have no more drink left, but it's okay because there's a song that goes with it.
There's a song to make you smile, even though once it's done, you're gonna be sad.
Oh, hey,
Love
I
it.
feel like there's so many other things we could talk about, but I think this is a great place to kind of challenge our listeners to, as we're generating our own energy and
Yeah.
bringing the joy to the
I love that
conversation.
you brought it back. You were so good at that. Gosh.
You are sweet, but
Right.
it's just because I'm OCD about
No, I love it.
brainwaves.
I love
I
it.
think that this is something that I want you to think about, and you'll have to let us know. We'll let Sandy know on the social media, and she'll tell me about it.
Right.
But what are words that you've made up over life, or what are things or fears that you've had that you've overcome because you've been able to, be like the Germans and make up a bunch of new words?
Yeah. Get yourself through it. What are you doing to get yourself through it?
What are you doing? I'm gonna
You're
run a
making
marathon.
words.
Yeah,
What are
making
you doing?
words, running a marathon, walking on the treadmill, doing your
Yes.
thing. Oh my goodness.
Getting dressed. Good for me.
I'm guessing that our listeners are about wherever they're supposed to be going as they've taken us
so.
with them.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey, y'all. Thanks for listening to us today.
Yeah.
It was fun.
This was really fun. I feel like we did bring the joy. My face actually hurts from smiling a little bit.
And that's the thing, wherever you are going off to after you listen to this podcast, just remember joy and happiness. Those are verbs. Like you have to choose that. They are choices that you make. And life is not always going to be just full of puppies and unicorns and, wonderfulness. It's your mentality through all of it.
So choose the path that's best for you. And we're here to hear how you're doing. Thanks for choosing to listen to us and for taking us with you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.